California governor. Newsom's term limited. Kamala Harris isn't running. So you've got this field. And again, they use a jungle primary. So Rick Caruso, the Republican, may well run. He's kind of a Republican. He's a Republican. He's an independent. He's a Democrat. He's a shopping mall billionaire developer. But there's a number of Democrats in the race. Former mayor of Los Angeles, Phil Aragosa, Javier Becerra, a couple others, state office types. And but Katie Porter, the former congressman, is considered now the front runner. And she did a long interview with the California station. And the reporter did the interviews on social media this morning saying, everybody's obsessed with this short clip. Please watch the whole interview. Well, I urge you to watch the whole interview if you wish. But here are the 3 minutes everybody's talking about, presented without comment because we're out of time. But we want everybody to see. This is the person who's the front runner. And I'll just say, to me, one of the fundamental questions for any Democrat who cares about the future of the party is, how do you appeal to Trump voters? It's fundamental, because if you want to build a majority party and you want to understand how someone who you think is so horrible is able to win 2 out of 3 presidential elections, you probably should have some intellectual and professional curiosity. How do you win Trump voters? How do you appeal to their aspirations, their hopes, their dreams, deal with their fears? Here's California gubernatorial frontrunner Katie Porter in a perfectly pleasant interview setting. Roll tape.
You're a Democrat. Sit down.
What do you say to the 40% of California voters who you'll need in order to win, who voted for Trump?
How would I need them in order to win, ma'am?
Well, unless you think you're going to get 60% of the vote. You think you'll get 60%. Everybody who did not vote for Trump will vote for you. That's what you're saying.
In a general election, yes. If it is me versus a Republican, I think that I will win the people who did not vote for Trump.
What if it's you versus another Democrat?
I don't intend that to be the case.
So how do you not intend that to be the case? Are you going to ask them not to run?
No, I'm saying I'm going to build the support. I have the support already in terms of name recognition. And so I'm going to do the very best I can to make sure that we get through this primary in a really strong position. But let me be clear with you. I represented Orange County. I represented a purple area. I have stood on my own 2 feet and won Republican votes before. That's not something every candidate in this race can say. If you're from a deep blue area, if you're from LA or you're from Oakland, you don't have an experience.
But you just said you don't need those Trump voters.
Well, you asked me if I needed them to win.
So you don't
I
think
feel like this is unnecessarily argumentative. What is your question?
The question is the same thing I asked everybody, that this is being called the empowering voters to stop Trump's power grab. Every other candidate has answered this question. This is not
correct. And I said I support it.
So, and the question is, what do you say to the 40% of voters who voted for Trump?
Oh, I'm happy to say that. It's the do you need them to win part that I don't understand. I'm happy to answer the question as you have it written, and I'll answer it.
And we've also asked the other candidates, do you think you need any of those 40% of California voters to win? And you're saying, no, you don't.
No, I'm saying I'm going to try to win every vote I can. And what I'm saying to you is that...
Well, to those voters, okay, so you...
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it. Okay. Thank you.
You're not going to do the interview with us?
Nope, not like this. I'm not. Not with 7 follow-ups to every single question you ask.
Every other candidate has answered.
I don't care. I don't care. I want to have a pleasant, positive conversation in which you ask me about every issue on this list. And if every question you're going to make up a follow-up question, then we're never going to get there.
Ms.
And
Porter,
we're just going to circle around.
I am an investigative
I have never
reporter.
had to do this before, ever.
You've never had to have a conversation with
to end an
reporter?
interview.
Okay, but every other candidate has done this.
What part of, I'm me, I'm running for governor because I'm a leader. So I am going to make...
So you're not going to answer questions from reporters? Okay, why don't we go through? I will continue to ask follow-up questions because that's my job as a journalist, but I will go through and ask these, and if you don't want to answer, you don't want to answer. So nearly every legislative...
I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you, and I don't want this all on camera.
I don't want to have an unhappy experience with you either. I would love to continue to ask these questions so that we can show our viewers what every candidate feels about every one of these issues that they care about. And redistricting is a massive issue. We're going to do an entire story just on the responses to that question. And I've asked everybody the same follow-up questions.
God, I would hate to be staffing her.
Dan, if you were staffing her and she came off, what would you say?
I gotta go.
What would you say? What would you say to her if you were staffing her and she did that?
Well, the challenge is that is who Katie Porter is. I spent a lot of time around that office. For those who don't know, she went to Harvard Law School. Elizabeth Warren was one of her professors. She considers herself kind of an acolyte of Elizabeth Warren. She is condescending and patronizing. She absolutely believes that she is right. You are wrong. She's smarter than you. It comes across. So, you have to start with, Mark, the fact that, like, you have to sit and ask questions and have respect for the person who's asking you questions. She doesn't respect Trump voters, and she didn't respect those type of questions. You just can't talk to people like that. And that is Katie Porter's problem. It's why so many people dislike her and disliked her in Congress. I mean,
Yeah.
oh,
Do you guys think she's the front runner?
I hope so. We might actually have a chance in California if she is.
She is today because the base loves her.
Yeah.
Yep.
But can I do that? First of all, the funny part about this is that, I mean, to Dan's point, it was just the funniest, like, some of the media part of it was bad, but like Katie Porter wasn't wrong on the math.
Yeah, of course.
But to the way she phrased it, just say, gosh, you know what? I think I can win, but her Orange County point was well taken. She comes across as such an arrogant, unlikable person. And by the way, the idea of we don't need this on camera. I mean, and the reporter basically like, here are the questions. I mean, that doesn't look good on anybody, by the way.
No.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.
And don't forget, you can now listen to the morning meeting and Two-Way Tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.